There comes a point in life when you stop trying to prove yourself with what you give, and you start understanding that what you protect matters just as much. I am 87 years old. I spent 23 years as a federal judge. I have watched enough human nature up close to tell you something most people will not say plainly. Some of the things you are giving away are costing you more than you understand, and nobody is going to stop asking. The first thing, your mornings. When I was on the bench, every morning for 23 years belonged to the court. I arrived at 7:30. The day was spoken for before I had a second thought. When I retired, I let other people fill that same slot. My daughter called at 8 a.m. A neighbor came by before 9. A colleague rang with a question that could have waited until afternoon. I gave those mornings away the way I had always given my mornings, because someone needed something and I was available. Then one morning I understood. I was available because I had not decided not to be. My mornings were mine now. Nobody had a right to them unless I extended it. I began setting a rule: nothing and nobody before 10 a.m. Those hours belong to me. They have been the best part of my retirement. The second thing, you're calm. 23 years on the federal bench teaches you one thing above everything else. A composed presence is not passive. It is one of the most powerful things in a room. Lawyers who raised their voices, defendants who broke down, arguments designed to provoke a reaction. I learned that calm was not indifference, it was discipline. And I also learned that calm is exactly what people will try to take from you if you allow it. I have a son, 52 years old now, who presents every problem at full volume, as though the urgency of his voice will somehow accelerate my response. It used to work. I would absorb his stress and carry it. Now I sit with it. I let him finish, and then I speak at exactly the same pace I always speak. He has become calmer over the years, not because I told him to be, because I stopped rewarding the volume. The third thing, stop being everyone's court of last resort. I was a judge for 23 years. I retired from that. But in the early years after I left the bench, people brought me their disputes as though the courtroom had simply moved into my living room. Grandchildren brought arguments expecting verdicts. Children brought decisions expecting me to rule. Former colleagues brought situations expecting my authority to resolve things I was no longer responsible for resolving. At some point I said, clearly without apology, I am not the judge of that anymore. Not your marriage, not your finances, not your dispute with your brother. Those belong to you. I can listen. I cannot rule. The moment I stopped ruling on other people's lives, they began ruling on their own. Some of them did it badly. That was not my concern. It was their education. The fourth thing, your wisdom, but specifically the habit of repeating it. I spent my entire career making decisions based on careful reasoning. When I retired, I brought that same care to the advice I offered. And I discovered something that took me longer than it should have. Most people do not come to you for advice. They come for permission, or for company in a decision they have already made. I share what I know once, clearly, without footnotes, without hedging, and then I stop. I do not follow people around repeating myself. A verdict delivered twice is not stronger. It is just noise. If they were not ready to hear it the first time, the second time will not help them. What it will do is exhaust me. I stopped paying that price a long time ago. The fifth and last thing, your honest truth. Not opinion dressed as wisdom. Actual truth, clearly stated at the right moment. Age teaches you something specific about truth. Not that it should always be spoken, but that withholding it when it genuinely matters is its own kind of unkindness. I spent 23 years delivering findings people did not want to hear, not harshly, clearly. I learned that clarity is a form of respect. The people who helped me most in my life were not the ones who comforted me when I was wrong. They were the ones who told me plainly what was in front of me. As I've gotten older, I try to return that gift when the moment calls for it. Once, plainly, with whatever kindness I have. Then I let it rest. I am not responsible for what people do with truth after I give it. I am only responsible for giving it when it matters. 5 things. Your mornings, your calm, your role as everyone's fixer, your wisdom, given once, not repeated, your honest truth, offered clearly, then released. These are not selfish things to protect. They are what make everything else possible. A man who gives away his mornings has no mornings left to think in. A man who gives away his calm has nothing steady to offer when someone truly needs it. A man who takes on every responsibility that is not his will bend until he breaks. Protect what belongs to you. Give what is genuinely yours to give. That is not selfishness. That is how you remain genuinely useful to the people you love. I spent 23 years on the federal bench learning one thing above everything else. The people who protect their judgment, who guard their composure, and choose their obligations carefully, are the ones who serve longest and serve best. I retired from the bench at 71. I have had 16 years since then that belong entirely to me. 16 years of mornings I chose how to spend. 16 years of calm I chose to protect. 16 years of not ruling on things that were never mine to rule on. That is not a small thing. That is a life. At this stage of life, most of us have spent decades giving. There is honor in that, but there is also wisdom in knowing what must remain yours. Not because your heart has grown smaller, because your understanding has grown deeper. You have earned the right to protect what is left. Do not apologize for using it.